Hi cuties, it's Killer Cutie Cosplay, and I'm here today to talk to you about Fan Expo Denver Special Edition. So basically, Denver Comic-Con has now transitioned into Fan Expo Denver. Originally we were Denver Comic-Con, then we were Denver Pop Culture Con, and now we are Fan Expo Denver. Now this was kind of this was at least my first ever Fan Expo. I believe it was the first time Fan Expo has been in Denver itself. This was also a special edition con because we hadn't had a Denver Comic Con in over 2 years because of the Panini going around. So it was definitely interesting. It was the weekend of Halloween, which was definitely a little odd because I missed out on some of the normal Halloween stuff I would do. However, I can never complain when I'm at a con. There was a lot of really interesting things. It was kind of, to me, I don't understand why it was 100% a special edition. They said it was a lot smaller than what a normal size con for them would be. It was at the same venue that Comic-Con for Denver is usually at, which is the Colorado Convention Center, which has the giant blue bear peeking through. To me, it was around the same size. The only thing that was different is there was one hallway for the panels and then another hallway that led you up to the stairs for the vendors. And they didn't have the rest of the area open like they usually do, and it wasn't it wasn't both layers, if that makes sense. Because usually downstairs there's like this big Lego area, there is merchandise, there is a whole bunch of other stuff, some family activities, bunch of panel rooms open. This time it seemed like the only upstairs area was the exhibitors hall, and the food place was up there, but that's an issue on its own that we will get to. Anyway, to me, the vendor's room was about the exact same size as what it usually is, maybe a little bit bigger. The panels seemed interesting. They had a lot of panels. I didn't really see too many panels, though, cosplayer-wise, which definitely was odd because I would have loved to have seen a lot more cosplayer-ran panels slash character panels, I guess is the best way of saying it. Just, you know, panels done, like, as the character or as the series. I've always been a big fan of those panels. I mean, I am a little biased because I was in fairy tale panels like that for 5 years, I think now. It's a lot of years as Wendy Marvel, I will tell you that. But other than that, I didn't really check out the panels too much. They had a lot of celebrities. The celebrities were in the back of the exhibitors hall. And in between the celebrities and the vendors was like a little cosplay area where they had a photographer. They had a red carpet event where people could walk through in their cosplay, get it announced, and get a bunch of professional photos taken. They had a little area where you could stand in a Funko Pop box as the like best cosplayer or whatever. They had a few like backdrops, and then they had some things like Jedi training, and the kids area was over back there. And then this forward was all vendors. It was like they separated it by, it was artists and then the like just normal everyday vendors that they have. So it was kind of like combined, which is definitely interesting. Usually I like it when they're a little bit more separated because it can get crowded. And I will say all 3 days of Denver Fan Expo was insanely packed. It was a lot of like being really close together. So I would say if you have a bigger cosplay, it was a little hard to get around. I almost brought Junkrat with me, and I'm really glad I didn't because I definitely would have almost stabbed a few people on accident because it was very tight, especially like Saturday. Saturday is going to be the biggest day of the con, and it's no joke there. It was very packed. Also, so the vendors hall is basically a long hall, and then over to the side in that hall is a food vendors area. The food is not good at all. It made me sick. It made a friend of mine who I met at the convention super sick from eating there. The food just, it wasn't good. It's a nice place to like, because it's very spacious, so there's plenty of tables. So it's a nice place if you need to like sit down and take a break. However, I don't recommend the food. I would say just go ahead and leave the venue to go get food or eat before you get there because yeah, the food it wasn't good. But other than that, I had a lot of fun. It was a little different because they had you wait in line, they checked your bag, then you went inside, then you got your badge, and then there was a hallway that you had to sit and wait in, and you had to go online and activate your badge. This made it to where when you scanned, they all had like scanner apps that they would scan your ID, or not your ID, but your badge, and you had to activate it to make sure it would scan. Not only does scanning it get you inside the building, but scanning it also gets you outside of the building. Like, you have to scan your badge to leave the building, which this was the first time I ever did anything like that, and I will admit it was a little odd because there was only one exit that you could go out of, and you had to scan yourself out of it. I'm trying to assume that that was something based off of maybe COVID, or trying to make sure that they had so many people going in as they had going out. I'm not 100% sure. The only thing that was hard about logging your badge in and activating it was that everybody was doing it at the same time, because you had to do it right after you got your badge, because your badge had the badge number on it that you needed to type in and scan to say, oh, I'm here and I have my badge. So in that hallway, it took, I would say, 30 minutes just to get the internet to actually work, then to log on, then to get it scanned, then to activate it. That was a little bit time consuming, but once you had it scanned, you didn't have to do it again, so then you just would scan it every time you go into the building. They were very coordinated with having everything other than where you could go blocked off. So you would go get your badge scan, and then you would walk in this hallway, and there was one hall that was a panel, and then you go up one more, and the other hall was a few more panel rooms, and then you would turn, and there was a little bit of an area. They had a little merch booth for if you would like the Comic-Con merch, and then you would go up an escalator, and there was the exhibitors hall. That was kind of about it. There really wasn't much more to the area, which is why I'm assuming they're saying it's a smaller version, because usually Comic-Con has like a whole bunch of stuff laid out, and usually they have like a bunch of people with Lego set up. That was actually, they had a smaller version of that in the dealer's hall towards the back. They had a few small Lego setups. Usually you have that full glass area with the bear out where you can walk around and talk or take pictures. That was not open. The outside was pretty nice for photos. It wasn't too hot or too cold. It was kind of like an in-between, but once it got towards night, it did get a little chillier. So some of the cosplays were like, I am freezing. I did Elvira. I also did Toga from My Hero Academia, and I did a version of a sailor character from Sailor Moon, who was Sailor Moon Scream, which was also Ghostface, and I based it off of the artwork by the Imaginary King, which is right here. I also met a lot of really nice people while cosplaying from My Hero Academia's Toga. I met another Toga who was absolutely amazing. I met an amazing Genshin Impact cosplayer, and I'm sorry, I don't play Genshin Impact, so I have no idea what character they're cosplaying, but they looked really cool and they handmade their outfit. I also got to hang out with a great friend of mine who cosplays Twice, so we could finally get some more Twice and Toga photos. There was also an amazing overhaul. We ended up hanging out and having a whole experience because we went to the 6th Street Mall to go get food, and we actually had like this crazy weird photographer approach us. I'm going to do a separate video for that because it's kind of a big story time and I don't want to make this video too long. But anyway, I had a blast. And then Sunday I did Perona from One Piece. Like I said, every single day was packed full of people. Usually I would say that like Denver Comic-Con, Fan Expo, IndieCade, those are the cons where you want to have your like insane outfits that are really just show-stopping. But to me, it seemed like it would be really hard to get around in an outfit that's bigger. Like, my Junkrat isn't too much bigger than me, but the Riptire with the spikes, I knew I was going to jab people because it was so tightly packed. There were a lot of amazing artists in Artist Alley. Super fantastic. There was a whole bunch of people seller-wise that was amazing. There was somebody that made tumblers, who I did get a custom tumbler. But there was a Lolita vendor who had Lolita sizes for all, which is insane because if you're anywhere near Lolitas or you know a little bit about it, you know that sometimes sizing can be really hard, and she nailed it. But there was also like a lightsaber place there. There was, of course, the usual like 3 versions of the same mystery box place. There was a place that just sold booty shorts that all had weird sayings on it that were hilarious. It was fantastic. There was also a lot of like amazing cosplayers. There was a lot of super nice people. You could kind of tell there were a lot of people who were like, I miss cons. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do this because I haven't done it in so long. And super lovely. I met a lot of nice people. it definitely was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that I got to enjoy it, and I got to spend time, and I got to hang out. It was really nice. I do wish that there had maybe been more programs going on, because after like a certain time there was really nothing. And then it was kind of like they ended the con super early on Saturday, which didn't make sense to me because they ended it later on Friday. Like Friday it ended at 9. Meanwhile, Saturday it ended at like 7, which didn't make sense because I was like, I would have stayed till 9. I ended up staying, usually Friday I'll hang out, check out the con, maybe do a shoot, and then I'll come back and relax, get ready for Saturday, because Saturday's a big day. But no, Friday I stayed the entire time. I stayed the entire time Saturday too, but I was just super surprised that they like had it cut off so early, and there really wasn't too many after dark things going on. And by after dark I just kind of mean like they weren't doing movies, there was no like karaoke, there was no, I don't want to say rave, but there was like nothing really of that sort. They did have an after party at, I believe, Akibara, but that one was like you had to buy tickets and the tickets sold out. I think there was another after party, but I'm unsure of where. But my thing is usually it would have been nice to have more stuff like that at the venue, which there wasn't, which was a little sad, but I'm trying to look at it as this is like their stepping stone, because they did, after the con, send me, I believe they sent this to everybody, but they sent me a survey to fill out and be like, hey, what did you like? What did you not like? What would you like to see? What did you come to see? All stuff like that. So I was like, okay. So I put in there too, like maybe different food options, because those food, to me, like the only thing that was major was the food was so bad. It did not taste good, and it made one of my friends sick. I wasn't feeling good after eating some of the pizza, and it was just, and it stinks because you get excited that like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to have to leave the venue. I can literally stay here and eat. So I'm just going to say for right now, unless they kind of change the vendors inside, to either eat beforehand or just pick a time with your group that you're going with and go eat somewhere because it's not worth the money. It really isn't. They also, of course, they had 2 different lemonade stands, or like they do lemonade and root beer and stuff, and they have the cups that you can do and fill all weekend, which I really think is a good idea, especially at cons, because dehydration is legit. You're in a hot costume half the time, or you're walking, or you forgot to eat, or you forgot to drink water. I think that's kind of a genius idea, and I'm really glad that they decided to kind of include that. I feel like that's kind of going to be it. So right here, I'm going to put just my vague overview if you just want to skip past the rest of the video and do like the bulk. This is what you need. Basically, the con was great. I really enjoyed it. Don't eat the food at the convention center. Go out of the convention center to eat. But it was a great con. Definitely bring some extra cash, because the amount of vendors that were just like insanely cool was a lot. So if you want to buy something, I would definitely say bring a little extra cash, because you don't know. I would stick with maybe not as big cosplays, because I don't think there would be enough room. With how many people were packed into that area, I do not think there would be enough room. It's very cosplay friendly though, otherwise. Lots of different things for cosplayers to like participate and do, whether it was photo wise or walking a red carpet, as well as the costume or I believe instead of a costume contest, they said it was a craftsmanship cup. Craftsmanship cup. I'm losing my marbles, so I'm going to take that as a sign to sign off. So thank you so much for listening to me. I hope this was very helpful. So stay on the lookout for my storytime video about what happened that day when we were out exploring as the League of Villains, as well as a new shopping haul for Fan Expo. Thank you so much, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I don't know why I keep doing this, but it feels right for Deku.